はい、皆さんこんにちは、山本義則です。本日はですね、こちらクレアチン研究の世界的権威でありますイエーガー博士にお越しいただきました。本日はよろしくお願いいたします。簡単に自己紹介の方をお願いしてもよろしいでしょうか。
My name is Dr. Ralf Jaeger. By education, I'm an organic chemist. I have been doing clinical research in the nutritional field and specifically in sports nutrition for 20 years. We run between 10 to 20 human clinical studies every year and have done a lot of research in the area of creatine, one of my favorite ingredients.
それでは早速ですね、クレアチンについてお聞きしていきたいと思うのですけれども、まずクレアチンと言いますと、日本でもクレアピアというものが結構知られていて、ただ、ラベルにクレアピアと書いてあってもそれが普通のクレアチンとどう違うのかということをちょっと分かっていない方も多いと思うんですけれども、そのクレアピアと他の普通のクレアチンとの違いとは何でしょうか。
Creapure is actually the branded form of creatine monohydrate. Creapure is manufactured in Germany as one of the original manufacturers of creatine monohydrate. And Creapure is also the most researched form of creatine that is available. It has the most data on safety, has the most data on efficacy. So if you see a product that actually contains the Creapure logo, you know you're going to get the best quality and the best researched product.
クレアチンと言いますと、他に例えばクレアルカリンですとかクレアチンエチルエスター、いろんな製品があるんですけれども、クレアチンモノハイドレートよりも例えばクレアルカリンの方が効果があるというような宣伝文句を見かけることもあるんですけれども、それについてはいかがでしょうか。
We have a couple of years ago published a paper in cooperation with Professor Kreider, and we actually have reviewed all the different forms of creatine that are available. And the conclusion of this review was that yes, there are a lot of different versions of creatine out there, but there's not a single one that has any clinical evidence to be superior to creatine monohydrate. So while there are a lot of different forms out there, creatine monohydrate is still the best version out there.
そしてクレアチンというともう皆さん筋肉のために飲んでる方が多いと思うんですけれども、クレアチン筋肉だけでなくて脳にも入ると思うんですけれども、その脳の機能を高めるためのクレアチンの取り方ですとか、あるいは脳の機能がどのようにどれぐらいのレベルで高まっていくのか、それについて教えていただけるでしょうか。
Yes, the benefits of creatine for cognition have been recently studied. The first thing we have to understand actually, can you take creatine and increase the creatine amount that you have in the brain? We know that if you're taking creatine, your muscle content goes up by 30 to 40%. Now from several studies looking at brain health, we know you can increase the brain content of creatine by up to 10%, so also a significant amount. We also know from different studies in healthy people that if you're taking creatine, you can improve your cognitive function. From the different studies that we have, we also know that if you have very stressful situations, if you do something very challenging, if you are very exhausted, then creatine actually works better. So the more stressed you are, the better is the cognitive benefit of creatine.
特にハードトレーニングとかのストレスにさらされている人でも脳の機能を改善することがあるかもしれないということですね。で、筋肉の方は、例えばクレアチンを取ることによって 20%、30% アップしますけれども、脳は10% ぐらいなんですが、これは脳の中にですね、運び込むトランスポーターなどの働きもありますので、あんまりうまくは改善しないんですけれども、それがもしさらに増やせるような方法があると、さらにクレアチンの効果期待できるかもしれないです。そして今クレアチンの取り方といいますと、ローディングしてその後メンテナンス、あるいはもう最初から毎日 3g ずっと飛び続けるというような方法があるんですけれども、筋肉のためのそうした取り方と脳のための取り方とでは何か違いはありますでしょうか。
We only have a limited amount of studies so far with creatine and brain health. So the optimal way on how we supplement, how much and for how long, we don't know perfectly yet at this point. Very interesting, actually, there was a very recent study showing that just a one-time dose, just a one-time taking creatine, you can see a benefit. That's something we have not seen with muscle, because in muscles you have to increase the store in your muscles to see the benefits. So for cognition, the most used dose that we see in studies is between 5 and 10 grams per day.
そしてアメリカでのクレアチン事情についてなんですけれども、日本だとトレーニングしている男性あるいはアスリートがクレアチンを取ることが多いと思うんですけれども、アメリカでのクレアチンの摂取され方といいますか、例えばアスリート以外でも使われているのか、女性の使用頻度などがどうなのか、それについて教えていただけるでしょうか。
Creatine has always been a very popular ingredient in the US, and we always saw very steady growth every year with creatine. 2 years ago, actually, the sales all of a sudden doubled, and this year again it increased by 40%. And the reason for this significant growth that we all of a sudden see is actually that more and different consumers are using creatine. In the past, it was mainly young males. Now we actually see that the Generation X, the middle-aged people, actually also started taking creatine at actually the same usage rate as the young people, because they understand that they have to maintain their health, they have to maintain their muscle health to actually grow old and actually stay strong and can do the things even at later stages in life. The other new group that we have is actually women. Women all of a sudden get interested in creatine too, so part of the significant growth that we see in the market comes from more women using creatine.
最近日本でもベジタリアンの人が結構増えてきたと思うんですけれども、ベジタリアンの方へのクレアチンは推奨されますか？
It's actually especially recommended to those because they naturally do not consume a lot of creatine in their diet. So people that don't get it through their diet, they should get it from supplementation. So vegetarians are definitely recommended to actually take creatine.
はい、では最後にですね、ここ、大体1年ぐらい最近の間で何かクレアチンに関して新しいトピックがございましたらお願いいたします。
New topic for creatine actually is to me is also the segment of traumatic brain injury. Because as we know, everyone loves to do sports, and I love to do sports, and I want my child to actually do that. But you're always concerned about accidents, injuries that will happen, and specifically injuries to the brain. So therefore, there is an emerging amount of evidence around creatine that actually creatine can be used after traumatic injury, after you have, for example, a concussion, that can help you with recovery. So that's one of the areas that actually I'm most fascinated about.
はい、今回はですね、イエーガー博士にお越しいただいてクレアチンについていろいろと詳しく教えていただきました。本日はありがとうございます。